Welcome back in. Welcome back in. It's your boy Mike coming back at y'all, man. Week 2 as we prepare to host the Washington Commanders, coming off of a big Week 1 win over our division rival San Francisco 49ers, avenging the loss that they gave us back in Week 9 last year, the first loss to the Niners under head coach Mike White. But we got it done. Now it's time to go ahead and move on to get business ready against Washington. And I think it'll be a really fun one. Washington has a lot of really fun players, some players that can definitely cause some issues both offensively and defensively. But first things first, man, weekly awards. And Ty Davis-Price, after a spectacular Week 1 where he went 23 carries for 193 yards and 2 scores, wins Offensive Player of the Week in the NFC. You got Jack Campbell and Daxton Hill taking home Defensive Player of the Week, and Trevor Lawrence getting the Offensive Player of the Week in the AFC. Now, unfortunately, Keegan Buchanan, after missing Week 1 with injury, was injured again in practice, broke his finger, and is going to be out for the next 2 games. So that means Buchanan will not be suiting up until at the earliest, Week 4. But he's not going to be alone on the injury report in this game. You got Chase Young out with a torn labrum, 27 years old, 90 overall. Now, of course, we know in real life he's not necessarily this caliber of player, but with the way that he's developed in this franchise, 88 finesse moves, really, really elite speed off the edge, does have the ability to set the edge a little bit as well in the running game, but definitely not going to be upset that he's going to be missing this game. They already have a very, very good defensive front, minus him. So just adding him back on there would certainly be an obstacle to overcome. As you see Ty Davis-Price getting that final ability slot unlocked, we're going to go ahead and work that in with human joystick. Lewis Seen, man, just can't say enough about Lewis Seen, up to an 86 overall. He's become a huge part of this team since coming over in the Kyler Murray trade. Wouldn't take it back for anything. Happy to have him. Cam Thomas working his way up slowly but surely, now up to an 82. Then, of course, he's coming off of getting paid not last year, the year before. Yeah, last year in the offseason. So definitely excited about the future of this defense in particular. We got guys all over the place. Cam Thomas and Ojulari, 2 young edge defenders. We got that whole trio of corners and Jalen Johnson, who is, more of a veteran, but Andrew Stinson and Amani Harris going into years 2 and 3, respectively. Andrew Stinson going into year 3, Harris going into year 2. But as we go ahead and take a look at some of these options on Washington's roster, man, Terry McLaurin highlights the offensive end. We know how dynamic he is, has really, really good speed, elite hands, and he can go up and get it. He can beat you, just with his smooth route running. Definitely going to be someone that, any of our corners are going to certainly have their hands full with. And then Tyron Smith, who signed with Washington a few years back in free agency, as he anchors this offensive line, now 35 years old, 88 overall. And though he no longer is elite in a lot of these different categories, he is certainly in one of those upper percentiles across the board, run blocking and pass blocking. And, with being so seasoned in the league, also going to have a lot of just situational awareness that some other guys may lack at a younger age. And certainly going to be someone that Sam Darnold loves having in front of him. Darnold now in his 9th season, still just 29 years old, as he has taken over the reins of this Washington offense. 88 throw power. The accuracies are fine. Definitely looks like he likes to work under play action a good bit with 85 play action rating. And he does have, a little bit of wheels on him. Definitely not going to be someone that you're completely worried about, but definitely not something to take lightly as well. And now moving on to the defensive side of the ball, Jonathan Allen, an absolute game wrecker, 31 years old in year 10 now, out of Alabama. And just take a look at that 93 strength. We know with his massive frame that, he's there to clog up lanes, but What he does even better than that is get after the quarterback. 95 power moves. Again, his blend of size and strength certainly going to be a handful, especially considering that we are missing Keegan Buchanan. Now, how about moving a little further back in this defense into the back end with Cameron Curl, 27 years old, 7th season. Of course, in real life is set to be a free agent. We'll see what Washington ends up doing with him. But here he's become one of the best safeties in the league, has never become, that elite coverage guy, but he's one of the best run supporting safeties in the NFL. And he's going to have some coverage guys in front of him, including Emmanuel Forbes, now in year 4, 25 years old, out of Mississippi State. Forbes brings an element of speed that very few defenses have. And when you're dealing with an offense that has Rashad Bateman and Rondell Moore at receiver, and not to mention Zach Chambers, with his big bodied frame, definitely going to be something that they're going to be happy to utilize against those guys, not to mention his catch rating at 81, one of the highest in the NFL for any corner. Jay Torrance, the second round safety that they drafted, was a guy that we were interested in but didn't want to use the assets to acquire at that point. Now, he did drop into the second round, and we were giving it some thought as to what we might want to do. Ultimately decided against it, but I do think that here, 77 overall, still just 21 years old, certainly going to play, some type of role for this defense, even with Cam Curl and Derek Forrest being those top 2 safeties. And how about highlighting Andrew Stinson, who had 2 interceptions last week against San Francisco, and Brock Purdy was a big part of the reason why we were able to kind of run away with that game. And just a small update, Zaven Collins will not be suiting up for the second straight week. Again, he similarly to head coach Mike White, they've each taken their own hardline stances. Collins is adamant about a trade or a contract extension, while head coach Mike White has already let his camp know there will be no negotiations of a contract of that size so early in the season when, we're still trying to get our feet under us, trying to, get things organized for the season. We're in the early part of the season. It's important. Got to make sure that the guys are all focused, that everyone's working towards the common goal. And unfortunately, Zaven's just not going to be a part of that right now. But let's go ahead and take a look at the rest of this Washington team. You got Sam Darnold at quarterback leading the way for Washington. Brian Robinson and Carlos Aldridge going to be the top 2 running backs here. Nick Ralston at fullback. Receivers, Terry McLaurin, Curtis Samuel, and Jahan Dotson, who had a decent rookie year, but in real life just hasn't really, done a whole lot since then. Tyler Scott there as well. Irv Smith and Jeremy Ruckert, the 2 tight ends. Tyron Smith at left tackle. Left guard, you got second-year man Matt Holliday. Center, Mason Cole. Right guard, rookie Aaron McMullen. And at right tackle, another rookie and Michael Casey, very young on this offensive line in a lot of spots. Montez Sweat and Parker Ramsey going to be those 2 edge guys. Jonathan Allen and Deron Payne up the middle, as well as the rookie Fitzpatrick. Jamin Davis taking up one linebacker spot with Cody Barton there as well. Javante Turner, the speedy third-year linebacker, could see a little bit of run. But second-year man Alex Hernandez likely going to be first in line for those next reps. Kendall Fuller, Emmanuel Forbes, we already know how good those guys can be as a duo. Second-year man Kai Felix, third-year man Quincy Hitchcock, rounding out that cornerback room. Derek Forrest and Cam Curl at safety. Rodrigo Blankenship, the kicker. Blake Gillikin, the punter, as Tommy Townsend set to get things kicked off, man. Ready for week 2. Washington back deep to return. It's going to go out of the back of the end zone as Sam Darnold ready to lead his team out onto the field. And let's see how he did in week 1 as the starter. 18 of 40, 220 yards, no touchdowns, 3 interceptions. Certainly by no stretch of the imagination was that a good performance, but he'll be looking to bounce back against, what hopes to be one of the better defenses in the league, and they'll start things out with the quick bubble outside to Jahan Dotson. He's going to lose 2 on that catch, leading to a 2nd and 12. Going now, 2 receivers right side. Darnold going to drop back and look short, has a man across the middle as we take a look at the draft class once again. And as we know, all 3 of those guys certainly going to be contributors in their first seasons. Now 3rd and 9. Washington not wanting to go 3 and out early. He has a man. It's Curtis Samuel, but Samuel gets lit up. Lewis seen there to deliver a massive hit. One of the biggest hits I've seen on Madden, quite honestly, just to break the fourth wall for a second. I mean, he crushed him. Ball comes out. Jalen Johnson recovers it. Really good defensive stand to open things out. And Arizona now with the ball, as here's Glenn Roberts coming onto the field with this Arizona offense. And Roberts, fared much better than Darnold did a week ago. 15 to 33, 212 yards, 3 touchdowns, 1 pick. Still not getting that completion percentage necessarily where we'd like to see it. But again, Roberts still only a third-year quarterback, if you can believe it. So plenty of time to, work on those types of things as they're going to start things out with Roberts in the shotgun, and Montez Sweat nearly brings him down. He does get the ball away. It'll be a 2nd and 10 now from the 47, and Roberts going to fake the handoff to Davis Price. Roberts rolling to his right, trying to wait for something to develop. He's going to throw one up there deep for Rashad Bateman, and Bateman breaks the tackle, walks into the end zone. What a throw there by Glenn Roberts. Roberts, I wasn't sure who he was going to see down the field. The pass rush was getting there slowly but surely. Roberts uncorks one. Rashad Bateman beating the young Emmanuel Forbes. And that's going to be the opening touchdown here. Arizona with a 7-0 lead. Now 1st and 10, next possession for Washington, handoff to Brian Robinson, going to be wrapped up by Cam Thomas after a gain of just 1. And last week, Robinson going 17 for 83, hair over 4 yards a carry, as A.J. Ringer, unfortunately, out for the game with a dislocated shoulder. He was injured on the PAT, and he is not going to be back in for this ball game. As here's Darnold looking right side, has a man. It's Curtis Samuel going right back to him after the fumble. Now 3rd and 3. Trips look to the left-hand side, and they got the running back in there on the same side as well. Darnold rolling out. Darnold not going to be able to find his man. Pass knocked away, and that's going to be a 3-and-out for Washington. Arizona with the ball back. Roberts looking right side, has a man. It's Zach Chambers going to be brought down there after a gain of 9. It'll be a 2nd and 1. Roberts making some adjustments at the line. You see Washington trying to adjust as well, bringing Zach Chambers across the formation over to the left side, now in more of a bunch look. Handoff, Ty Davis Price. Davis Price has some space, only going to have about 4 yards there, but it is enough for the first, and it gets them into Washington territory. So now here we go, 1st and 10. Handoff again, Davis Price. He's going to follow his blocker right up the gut. Only going to have about 5 there. And as we know, Davis Price, 23 for 193 and 2 touchdowns a week ago. We know how huge his running is to this offense as a whole. And Antonio Gibson now checking into the game, getting his first touch of it. We were just talking about Davis Price, but Antonio Gibson has been one of the best second fiddle running backs, kind of ever. Was a little over 800 yards on the ground last year, and just overall, I believe he was pretty close to 1,000 all-purpose. Well, not all-purpose, 1,000 offensive yards. I think he was just a little bit below that, somewhere in the 970 range. But first down for Antonio Gibson there. He remains in the ball game as we head into the red zone. And Roberts now going across the middle, has a man. Chambers again, his second catch of the drive. But now DJ Humphries is down, and Humphries going to be helped back to the locker room. He's holding that elbow, it looks like. 1st and goal from the 6-yard line. Roberts looks like he's going to make an adjustment here. Handoff to Ty Davis Price. Davis Price trying to find the edge. No, nearly makes it to the pylon. Going to be dragged down by Cody Barton right before he can get to it. So they have 1 yard to go now, 2nd and goal, and we already know what this offense likes to dial up so close to the end zone. Ty Davis Price over the top for the Arizona touchdown. And the Cardinals now 2 possessions up. Washington yet to really make any noise on the offensive end. Ty Davis Price now with his 3rd rushing touchdown of the year, as Washington taking back over. Arizona going to go ahead and clinch that defense a little bit, but they're going to hand it off outside to Brian Robinson this time. Talk about a bad time to make that type of adjustment. The pinch inside backfires. Run goes outside. Robinson down to the 50-yard line. Washington with one of their biggest plays of the day so far. 1st and 10. Here's Darnold. Darnold trying to find somewhere to go with the ball. Has a man across the middle, but the pass is knocked away. Broken up by Jalen Johnson, leading to a 2nd and 10. Now you got 2 receivers each side. Robinson remaining in the backfield, and he's going to get it. Pushes off Cam Wilhelm, but Jalen Thompson there to make sure he doesn't get too much further. It'll be 3rd and 5 now, and pretty close to field goal range, but they will need to get a little closer to make that happen. But Andrew Stinson on the quick corner blitz gets into the backfield. Darnold not quite able to roll out enough, and Andrew Stinson bringing an end to that drive. A 10-yard loss on the sack. Big play there from Andrew Stinson. Rare that we see him going after the quarterback like that, but he makes him pay this time. Arizona now back with the ball. Now 1st and 10, Arizona going to bring Trey McBride a little further left in the formation. Davis Price in the backfield. And they're going to hand it off to him here, looking left side. Oh, man, a lot of real estate in front of him if he was able to get around those few defenders. Not able to do it this time around. It'll be after nothing happening on 2nd down, it'll be 3rd and 7. Quick throw to Zach Chambers. Takes a big hit, drops the ball. And Washington getting their first defensive stand of the game, forcing an Arizona punt. Now the handoff to Brian Robinson once again. He's going to bulldoze through Andrew Stinson, but Enrique Sneed there to bring him down after a gain of 4. Now going to a trips look to the right. Arizona going to go ahead and bring some pressure, and they're going to hand off again to Brian Robinson. B.J. Ojolari screaming around the edge to drop him for a loss of 1. And that is going to do it for the first quarter. Washington, 51 yards of total offense so far compared to 112 for Arizona. Washington needs to make something happen on this possession to make sure that they don't lose too much momentum. As here's 3rd and 7, Darnold trying to find somewhere to go. Has a man across the middle of the field. It's Jahan Dotson. What a throw there by Sam Darnold. Under pressure, rolling to his left. Now at midfield once again. And here's Darnold dropping back, looking short left side, tried to find Irv Smith, just overthrows him now, a 2nd and 10. They're going with the empty look. Oh, but they're going to go ahead and switch things around a little bit. They bring a man, it's Robinson, back into the backfield. As here's Darnold going left side, trying to find Irv Smith again and overthrows him again. Had J-Ron Curse beat, that might have been a house call if he was able to get it into the hands of Irv. Instead, it'll be a 3rd and 10, and Darnold rolling out and overthrows Irv Smith for the 3rd consecutive play. Darnold, after a huge throw to set them up in good position, not able to make anything happen, and he's going to end up forcing them to punt as Rashad Bateman hauls in the pass across the middle down to the 46-yard line. Arizona now with a trips look to the right, and Antonio Gibson in the backfield. He's going to get it. Makes a move on Jonathan Allen, but not going to get too far. Only a gain of 2. Now a 2nd and 8. Very, very close to Washington territory. Roll out. Roberts on the play action, trying to find Rondale Moore, but just too far for him. Moore not quite able to catch up to that. As flipping the play here, 3rd and 8, looking for a conversion. Roberts, they're setting up the screen, gets it to Antonio Gibson. Good blocks up front, and Gibson does the rest. Gibson with a gain of 12 there on the screen pass down to the 40-yard line. Ty Davis Price now checking back into the ball game. Roberts trying to get one in there for Rashad Bateman. Emmanuel Forbes, though, not having it. It'll be 2nd and 10 now, and they're going to hand it off to Gibson once again. Gibson makes a move. Gibson lowers the shoulder and fights forward for a gain of 3. Didn't expect him to necessarily get that many yards there, but 3rd and 7. Arizona looking to convert. Roberts steady in the pocket. Throws a laser over the middle to Trey McBride. That was risky. Thought Jamin Davis or Cody Barton may have been able to make a play on that. Roberts layers it just where he needs to avoid that. And now 1st and 10. Roberts going to throw it to McBride again. Why not let him finish off the drive? They're into the end zone for the 3rd time. Touchdown Cardinals. Trey McBride and Rondale Moore doing a little dance. You see Zach Chambers, man, he's a rookie, so he doesn't quite know it yet. Trying to get in on the fun. Really good throw there from Roberts. Didn't allow the didn't allow the defense to speed him up at all. McBride beats Davis pretty easily on that corner route. It's 21-0 Arizona with 5:55 to go here in the first half. Commanders down 21. Got to think that they are looking to make something happen across this drive as he's going to throw one deep. And he has a man, Curtis Samuel. Jalen Thompson just lost the ball in the air. Thought it was a surefire interception. Darnold once again rolling to his left on the move, trying to escape from Juan Drummond. And Jalen Thompson's right there, but just too far underneath it. Curtis Samuel with a huge play for Washington. And their first touchdown of the game makes it 21-7 as Roberts has Rondale Moore left side for a gain of 15. And just not something you ever expect to see from this Cardinals defense. Jalen Thompson, one of the ball hawks. I think everyone in our secondary is a ball hawk, if we're being completely honest. Lewis Cine maybe not a ball hawk as much as those other guys, but he's had his fair share of interceptions. Just not something you expect to see from Jalen Thompson. Unfortunate, but we have to, go ahead and move on from it. 21-7, 3rd and 3 now. Want to keep this drive alive. Don't want to let Washington think that they can get some type of momentum, man, going into the half. As Trey McBride comes across the formation, handoff to Ty Davis-Price, and Davis-Price, a well-timed juke inside, able to pick up the first down. Davis-Price, though, just 25 yards on the ground so far. Jonathan Allen definitely being somewhat of a deterrent from this Arizona running game, as Roberts, a bad throw into double coverage, knocked away there by Jamin Davis. It'll be 2nd and 10 now. Roberts faked the handoff to Ty Davis-Price, and he's going to throw one for McBride. Fits it in there despite the coverage of Cody Barton, and that was very, very good coverage on his end. Now 1st and 10, Roberts, here he is, looking across the middle for Rashad Bateman. Bateman hauls it in, gain of 18 yards down to the 23-yard line. His 3rd catch of the game, man. He's up to 82 already. 1st and 10 now, going to that bunch look on the right-hand side. Roberts trying to hit the quick bubble screen to Rondale Moore, but throws it well behind him. Lucky that wasn't called for a fumble. That was not a great throw by any means. 2nd and 10 now. Roberts going across the middle for Zach Chambers, wrapped up by Emmanuel Forbes. Didn't want any of that. He knew Chambers might come in and lower the shoulder. So now on a 3rd and 6, here we go. Roberts quickly out to Antonio Gibson, who's trying to fight for the first. He cannot. Big stop there by Kendall Fuller. And that's going to bring us to the 2-minute warning now with a 21-7 lead still for Arizona in this ball game. But they're definitely pushing up, and they are going to go for it on this 4th and 1. Maybe not necessary. You could take the 3 points and go up by 3 possessions. But Arizona, man, they like that they've been able to kind of play around with this Washington defense all day. And Ty Davis-Price barely gonna sneak forward for that first down. Lucky that it ended up paying off, because that could have looked really bad. Instead, first down, minute 38 to go. Roberts once again setting up that bubble screen for Rondale Moore. This time does connect with him for a gain of 6. As Roberts is having a pretty efficient day so far. 2nd and 4 now. Bunch formation again to the right. Gibson staying in to block. Quickly to Zach Chambers, who dives into the end zone for the touchdown. And sorry, I clicked through that one a little too quickly. But the dive, man, just going ahead and committing his body to getting into the end zone. Really, really big play there from Zach Chambers. And he's been, pretty good as that number 3 receiver so far for us. Of course, he's playing more so in that Y position with Rondale Moore in the slot and Rashad Bateman being that primary X receiver. But Washington now does have all 3 timeouts, and they're moving quickly, already down to their own 47-yard line with a minute and 2 seconds to go, and still hanging on to all 3 timeouts. As here's Sam Darnold going across the middle, has a man. It's caught. Wow, definitely didn't think he was going to be able to hold on to that through traffic. He does. Going back to that empty look. Here's Darnold looking deep, has a man. It's Scary Terry who holds on again. Really, really good throw there from Darnold. Shocked that McLaurin was able to hold on to those two in a row. As here's Darnold looking, going short, has a man. It's Jeremy Ruckert out of bounds again. And they still have 2 timeouts, 21 seconds to go. 2nd and 6, trips look to the right. And they're going to actually hand it off to Brian Robinson. Not sure what the thinking was there, but it'll be 3rd and 6, 19 seconds to go. Darnold dropping back, looking across the middle. Jalen Thompson having none of it. And Washington content to go ahead and settle for a field goal here as we head into the half. But they will not be able to enjoy that at all as Israel Mukuamu comes screaming around the edge of the formation and dives in there to block. Rodrigo Blankenship not happy with his protection there. Mukuamu getting that block means that it will remain a 3-score game, or a 21-point game rather, heading into the half, with Arizona putting a pretty thorough whooping on the Commanders here. Outside of that one deep ball to Curtis Samuel that I'm still not quite sure what was going on while the ball was in the air there. Just complete domination by Arizona. But as we take a look around the league, Raiders currently beating our division rival 49ers 14-10. Travis Garner 14-17, 176. Likely looking at a little bit of revenge there. I know they played us, but, division rival, it'll do enough, hoping that the Raiders can finish it out. Bills up 24-7 on the Vikings, just dominating Minnesota right now. Kyler Murray still has yet to truly find his footing in Minnesota. And this is despite having Justin Jefferson, TJ Hawkinson, and Jordan Addison at his disposal throughout his the entirety of his tenure there. Meanwhile, Seattle up 14-7 over the Giants. Stan Layman, rookie quarterback for the Seahawks, going ahead and getting the start for them, as I believe he did win the battle in camp. But, that first half, pretty solid all around. The offense was moving at will. Defense, outside of the one hiccup, really wasn't allowing a whole lot. So it's just about finishing strong and, going ahead and continuing to keep your foot on the gas, keep the pedal to the metal, as once again, Ty Davis Price going to be tripped up on what could have been a long gain. Instead, it'll be a 2nd and 1, and Antonio Gibson now going to check into the game. Roberts is going to try to dump it underneath to him. Jamin Davis, though, able to knock the ball out of his hands. 3rd and 1 now. You see, going back to that 3 tight end look, and with no A.J. Ringer, that means Kylen Granson playing the role of the 3rd tight end. Then, of course, he was a tight end initially, so, all's fair on that end, as Ty Davis Price, one of his biggest runs of the game here, down to the 47-yard line. As Roberts has been doing a great job of spreading the ball around to his receivers. McBride has multiple catches. Gibson has multiple catches. Rashad Bateman, who's leading the way on the team, has a lot of catches. Rondale Moore, I guess Rondale only has about 2, but he has been targeted quite a few times. As here we are, 2nd and 5. You see 2 tight ends there, fake the handoff to Ty Davis Price. Roberts going to go ahead and air one deep to Rashad Bateman, who unfortunately is going to step out of bounds after a gain of 22. Likely wasn't going to score, but definitely had a lot more runway to move a little further down the field. As here's Glenn Roberts trying to throw one again for Rashad Bateman across the middle, and he holds on to that one as well. Now 2nd and 1 at the 17-yard line inside the red zone. Antonio Gibson in the game. Roberts rolling right, has a lot of pressure in his face. Jonathan Allen, the primary man there, giving him some discomfort. And I did miss a clip right here. It ended up getting to 4th and 1, and we went for it once again with Ty Davis Price. Ended up getting it down to the 2-yard line. And now here we are, 1st and goal from the 2-yard line. Roberts to Chambers. And Paris Johnson, unfortunately, going to be injured there. Poor Chambers, man. I missed his initial touchdown because I clicked too fast. And then he doesn't get a replay on that one because there's an injury. Poor guy, can't catch a break. 2 touchdowns, though, for the rookie in this ball game. Love to see that, as it's a 35-7 game. Washington, with 5:44 to go in this 3rd quarter, you got to think that they need some kind of points here, as Darnold's been relatively efficient, 13 of 19, and 3 of those incompletions that he had all came on 3 consecutive throws to Irv Smith that he missed. But he doesn't miss this one to Jeremy Ruckert, who luckily missed a missed a big hit stick there, or got missed by a big hit stick. Whatever. I'm just spitballing here. 1st and 10 though, now at the 26-yard line, going short left side for Irv Smith, but the ball is punched out. The ball is punched out of the hands of Irv Smith, the man that we were just talking about. Darnold had been overthrowing him. This time finally gets the ball in his hands, but Jalen Thompson comes through and just peanut punches it, man. Recovered by Arizona, Amani Harris all over it. And Arizona now with an opportunity to just really make this tough to palate for Washington. It's 35-7, and with 4:23 to go in the third, you got to think a touchdown here likely seals it, as here's Roberts trying to fit one in there for Rondale Moore, and does. Moore catches it on the tipped pass. Man, wow, great concentration there by Rondale Moore to go ahead and haul that one in, his third of the ball game, down to the 40-yard line. That was one of the most fun plays of this game, quite honestly. As here we go, trips look to the right, fake the handoff to Ty Davis-Price again. Roberts airing it deep, looking for Trey McBride, just a little bit too far and into the hands of Kendall Fuller. Roberts, who had been so good, not making the mistakes at all today. And I wouldn't say that that was a bad read on his part. Just think he threw it a bit too far. McBride did have a step on the convoy that was following him. Unfortunately, not able to fit it into the bucket on that occasion. Washington now back with possession, as they're going to start things off at their own 41-yard line, and they're going to hand it off to, oh no, that's not Brian Robinson. That's Carlos Aldridge, the second string running back, who has a gain of 2. But now here's B-Rob back into the ball game, 2nd and 8. Darnold back to pass. Darnold nowhere to go. He's going to go across the middle of the field. Stinson tried to get there. He saw it, wasn't able to quite make it there in time. Darnold hits Irv Smith to get into Arizona territory at the 37-yard line, and they're going to hand it off to Aldridge once again. This time he's going to lose 3 yards to force a 2nd and 13. B.J. Ojulari, one of the many Cardinals in there to make that happen. As here we go, Darnold once again dropping back. He's going to go short, has a man. It's Curtis Samuel. Man, he has quite a few catches in this game. What was that, number 5 for him, I believe? As on 3rd and 6, Darnold going to be pressured again. And Andrew Stinson for the 2nd time this game, back there to disrupt Sam Darnold. And that was one of the slickest cornerback blitzes you'll ever see. Stinson looked like a bit of communication happened with him and Jalen Thompson just before the snap. Thompson ends up taking Stinson's man. Stinson gave no indication that he was going to be coming on a blitz. He brings him down, knocks him out of field goal range, and Washington will punt. As here we go, 1st and 10, Roberts. Here he is, going to be hurried up a little bit, has Rondale Moore. And Rondale Moore going to take it for a gain of about 12 yards there down to the 28-yard line. And what should be one of the last plays here of the third quarter, Ty Davis-Price is going to get it. Davis-Price not able to get any space there, just a gain of 1, as he's at 65 yards on the game as we head into the third quarter. And when you take a look at just the yards, it doesn't look too far off, but Washington just hasn't been able to get it done when they really need something to happen. As Davis-Price, big cut there to go ahead and find the hole. Ty Davis-Price has a gain of 17 yards down to the 46-yard line. Now here we go, 1st and 10. Roberts going to fake it to Ty Davis-Price. We know this is in their bag of tricks, and look at that. By himself, wide open, stays in bounds. Elijah Higgins, touchdown Arizona. And that would have been A.J. Ringer, unfortunately, because of his injury, means Elijah Higgins was in there. But big play there from Higgins, who took the, going to third string tight end as a champ, able to show off there, and does. And there wasn't really a whole lot more to show off there in the fourth quarter. We did ultimately get one more touchdown. And, like I said, Washington just rudderless throughout the entirety of that game. And even that one touchdown was very much a gimme. Although, great throw by Sam Darnold. I won't take that away from him. But taking a look at these stats, man, almost 300 more total yards of offense compared to Washington. They just really couldn't get it done. They had 3 turnovers to our 1 of 8 on 3rd down to our 7 of 11. We also went 2 of 2 on 4th down. And that first fumble by Curtis Samuel really set the tone, but then losing the fumble a little later with Irv Smith, man, that really, really hurt. As Glenn Roberts here, 26 of 40, 377, 5 touchdowns, 1 interception. Most importantly, the completion percentage was in a very good place at 65%. Darnold goes 18 of 29 for 261, touchdown and a pick. Of course, that 75-yarder, the only reason he got over 200, but, you got to live with it. Ty Davis Price, 2 touchdowns, back-to-back weeks on the ground, going 22 for 118. And 2 scores. Antonio Gibson, only a little bit of work there, 4 for 27, as Brian Robinson and Carlos Aldridge really didn't get a whole lot going. Rashad Bateman led all receivers with 5 for 113 and a score. Curtis Samuel, 4 for 107 and a score. Rondale Moore getting in there, 64 yards. Zach Chambers had 6 catches for 60 yards and 2 TDs. And then Trey McBride, of course, and Elijah Higgins getting 1 each as well. A lot of guys down there getting some catches. Defensively, Cody Barton with 14 tackles. Man, Enrique Sneed and Stinson with 8 apiece. And Stinson, 3 tackles for loss. Love to see that. Ended up with 3 sacks, the only 3 sacks of the game. Huge by him. Kendall Fuller and Enrique Sneed each catching an interception. Jalen Thompson and Lewis Seen forcing the fumbles. Of course, we recovered both of those. Secondary really putting in work. And then, of course, no touchdowns to speak of. Glenn Roberts getting an upgrade here as he continues to push that overall higher and higher, now up to an 86. Gets 1 throw under pressure and throw accuracy short. And here we are. DJ Humphries tore his labrum, so will be out for the next 3 games. That means at least for next week, we'll be missing both members of the left side of our offensive line. But that is going to bring us into week 3 to take on the New York Jets. And now, with no more Aaron Rodgers, in tow, it is Zach Wilson's team undeniably. I am shocked that he is still with the organization after the way that his career has gone, but he has them here at 2-0. I'm sure in no small part thanks to, you see that top threat right there in Quinnen Williams. I'm going to take a look at the first mock draft of the year in this next episode. Got a weekly award to focus on as well. And we're going to get our first look and see who we have to re-sign. Now, we do already, of course, know one name that we're going to have to keep an eye on that negotiation period, but that will come in the next episode, man. Had a really good time against filming that game against Washington. They were just, like I said, completely rudderless, didn't have any answers for anything that we did all game. And when you're as well balanced as this Arizona team is, I mean, just look, 88 overall offense, 89 overall defense, just really, really, magical to watch on the field. But that's going to do it for today. I hope you all did enjoy. Be sure to like and subscribe should you feel so inclined. Until next time, have a great rest of y'all day and peace.